All right, I'm here with Coach O'Sullivan of Villanova. Your team just won the men's race at the Big East Championships. Tell me, how does it feel? Last year, really close race with Butler. How does it feel to come out on top this year?
It's good, a little bit of redemption, but Butler are always going to come with they're going to come ready, and I knew that. I said it to the team last night. I said it'll take 35 points to win, and that's what it took. And I said we'll be on the right side of it or the wrong side of it. So this is more about emotionally engaging and kind of making sure, because it's one-on-one. It's like a dual meet. And then Georgetown are right there. They had a little mishap, so it should have been a three-way team fight for that win. So all in all, I think it's one of those things where the team has to emotionally step up, and I think they did today. And there's various times in the race where I wasn't quite sure we were going to be able to hang into it, but then the boys rallied at the end, and I think kudos to them. They did it today themselves, and they were ready for it, but at the same time, it was a great win for them.
What are your kind of messages throughout the race? Obviously, you had the 1-2 out front, but what are you telling your 3, 4, 5 guys to make sure that they're showing up where they're finishing?
You're constantly telling them where they are, what they need to be. We need to move up just a couple of places, because that's all it takes, is a couple of places to be behind or a couple of places to be ahead, and it makes all the difference as to what the outcome is going to be. And we've done it enough times. We've been on the wrong side of it. Today we're on the right side of it. So, and I think the experience that those guys learned today, because 7 of the top 10 are relatively very young, and this is a great experience for them to know that it's more about just not the physicalness of the race, but the emotionalness of the race and the engagement of the race and the expectations of the race. And I think you learn, bit by bit, you learn that when you become an experienced team fighter.
Liam and Marco looked really strong coming through the line, and they were pretty much unfazed after the race. Really dominant performance from both of them. What does that tell you about their fitness?
You know what, I spoke to the whole team last night, and I somehow just arrived at this one line where I said, don't race against each other tomorrow, because teams do tend to, they watch each other, even on your own team, and I said, don't race against each other, race for each other. And so at the end of the day, I think Marco and Liam, once they got away, they decided that, look, just settle down. We're going to get the 1 and 2 spot. That's enough for the team today, no matter what happens. And then I think the rest of the team all stuck together. They rallied together, and I think they did their best to cover each other. And I think that's what actually was the difference between how we ended up today.
Marco and I think Liam as well both said that they think their training is more catered towards the 10K. Obviously, you guys go into regions now. How do you guys approach the next 2 weeks and just make sure they're as tuned up as possible?
Not much different than what we're doing. We do a lot of aerobic work, so I mean they're right. They're built more for 10K, and at the same time, you always worry about the 8K short course sometimes in the conferences where it's 23 minutes and the race is over, and you're like, oh, can they go that hard, that fast for that briefness of the race versus 10K, which might be 30 minutes plus or minus. So at the end of the day, it's a different kind of race, it's a different element, but I think over the years we've kind of managed to kind of just be fit enough and fast enough to be able to manage the 8K, but at the same time, aerobically developing for the 10K. So that's how we do it. It's always been a good way to, it keeps them injury free and keeps them fresh so far as that.
One of the things that Marco told me is that you guys really haven't taken your foot off the gas pretty much at all yet. When do you think you guys are going to start to taper, sharpen up for nationals?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good observation. We haven't. We've kind of kept the pressure on, which is a little bit different than what we normally do. And I think once you get to regionals, all goes well. It really is like a tune-up for nationals. So ultimately, what you try to do is just enough whereby they don't get too sluggish, but just enough whereby they're still sharp and crisp enough that they can kind of manage the race and still feel like they're training through it, but not. That makes sense.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you.